Hey, welcome to the Comics and Coffee Podcast. We're your hosts, Moses Lopez and Ricardo Feliciano. This is Volume 1, Issue 1. So Ricardo, how was your day today?
I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. It's probably not great to be so tired recording our Issue 1 episode, but I don't know. But it's Friday, so it was Friday for us.
Yes.
It won't be Friday by the time this goes out. But yeah, otherwise I had a good day. How about you?
My morning was surprisingly good, and it's kind of suspicious. Like, I feel like something bad is going to happen eventually. But yeah, I'm exhausted too. Got up at 4 a.m. for work. I want to sleep. But our fans, gotta do what's best for our fans.
I think it's safe to say after recording this podcast, we are going to sleep. Or at least I am.
I will definitely pass out.
All right, so let's get into some news here. So we're going to talk about some Marvel and DC news for the past week. I'm going to go ahead and say right now, this is probably heavily skewed to Marvel stuff.
Like 100%.
Yeah, I don't even know if we have any DC news today. But yeah, so what's your first news item?
Well, I know Marvel Comics is releasing a new issue called Mr. and Mrs. X, which comes out July 25th. Now, I know Marvel urges you to read X-Men Gold number 30 because that is the wedding of Kitty Pryde and Colossus. Now, why they urge you to read that first, I have no clue. But I thought the cover was interesting because Mr. and Mrs. X is basically referring to Gambit and Rogue, who are getting married. And in the cover, they make Gambit look like John Krasinski
from The Office.
From The Office, yes. Nice. The nose is spot on. Even the hair, he kind of has like that swish. I don't know if you like from like seasons 5 and so on.
Yeah,
he has that hair. And I don't know if you know this, but John Krasinski was actually in line to play Captain America, but backed out because he saw Chris Hemsworth's muscles in the suit, and I guess he thought he couldn't live up to that expectation.
Wait, Chris Hemsworth or Chris Evans?
Chris Hemsworth. Thor.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Actually, I think it was both.
Yeah, I would.
No.
I would have been intimidated too, though.
Yeah. Man's a god, literally.
And it's funny that you say that he looks like Jim from The Office, though, because if you remember, I forget what season of The Office it was, but Pam makes him a present, and she makes him his own little comic. Yeah. So Jim's been in comics before. This isn't his first time. A news item that I wanted to talk about, I'm gonna say two. One of them is Luke Cage season 2 is out. As we're recording this, it comes out today, June 22nd. But
no, we haven't seen it yet, but hopefully by next episode, we'll have watched.
And by the time this podcast is actually published, Luke Cage will have been out. So by our next podcast, we'll be talking about it. But we're also going to be talking about it more later in this episode. So that's one item. But what's most exciting for me is the whole bidding war that's been happening right now with 20th Century Fox. So if you remember, I forget how long ago it was, maybe a couple months ago, it was announced that Disney put in a bid for 20th Century Fox, which made most fans go nuts because this means Marvel Studios might actually have access again to X-Men, to Deadpool, to, I don't know what else does 20th Century Fox have? X-Men, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, and also an interesting tidbit here, the way the contracts were written, not only does 20th Century Fox have the rights to X-Men, like the name and as a group and mutants, they specifically have the right to Wolverine, which I thought was very interesting since he's an X-Men, he's already included, but in the contract they made sure to specifically say Wolverine, which I thought was pretty interesting.
I'm pretty sure that's what everyone's most excited about, to see Wolverine join the MCU.
Yeah, but and then
if
Hugh Jackman.
If Hugh Jackman's listening, we can urge him to rejoin for at least one movie, or I'll even find with a post-credit scene, to be honest. Yeah, he just needs to make a cameo. Yes. If he makes a cameo in any Marvel like MCU movie, I'd be so happy. The yellow suit. It has to be the yellow suit, not that black crap from. Especially since he hasn't done it even in 20th Century Fox. So yeah, that'd be pretty amazing. Only glimpsed the brown one at the end of the Wolverine, which was pretty cool, but no one wants to see a suitcase with a suit. I want to see it on him. I think Marvel Studios, bringing him in even for cameo, they do it great. Especially, with the rumors of Avengers 4, Infinity War Part 2, whatever you want to call it, that there's all this talk about time travel and stuff like that. Maybe with time travel, there's dimension travel, and maybe they can go to the dimension in Logan, spoiler alert, where Logan dies, and prevent that or something silly, where they're just like fighting through a dimension and they accidentally get blocked, like they accidentally run over the Wolverine clone and he's dead. Thanos accidentally kills him, so then the real Wolverine's alive. Like, who knows? You never know. Actually, even just having Daphne Keane, who played X-23 in the MCU, would be freaking amazing. Because... Well, yeah, I think hopefully, especially because of her age and she's so young, there's plenty of opportunity for her to come back and play X-23 in more movies. So
She at least she'll be able to join us. Good point.
I wouldn't even want a grown-up version. I want that specific little girl in MCU.
It's Wolverine's already like a ruthless kind of character, but to see such a little girl do the things that she did makes it so much more amazing. Because you wouldn't expect that. But yeah, so Disney bidding on 20th Century Fox to get all these rights was news a couple months ago, and they bid $52.4 billion for it.
I will never see that much money in my life.
Yeah, and as exciting as that was, not too long ago, Comcast, a company I'm not particularly a fan of, came in and they offered $65 billion for 20th Century Fox.
Who is Comcast? I've actually never heard of them before.
Really? Yeah. So Comcast is a huge company. With their namesake Comcast, what they're really famous for or infamous for is being an ISP, internet service provider, and television provider. So they're like a cable company that provides TV service, internet service, and they're not too great, particularly in customer support, which is their big issue. But
so maybe that's why they bid for 20th Century Fox.
But Comcast has a lot of properties under them, and I forget which one, but I want to say Universal. No, is it Universal?
Universal Studios.
One of the movie studios Comcast owns. Just like how Sony has Sony Pictures, but Sony also has
Paramount Pictures.
Paramount. One of those studios is owned by Comcast, and
is it TriStar? I feel like TriStar might be Comcast.
I don't know.
Or is that still Paramount? Because it still has the same basic opening.
I don't know, but that's something we could look up. But yeah, so Comcast, they already own a movie studio, and now they're trying to buy a 20th Century Fox, so we can own another one. So that's a little dangerous, kind of makes me scared. But this week's news is that Disney decided to up their bid. So Disney really wants to get these rights. I think we really want to get these rights. So Disney's original bid was $52.4 billion.
Okay.
Comcast came in at $65 billion, so over $10 billion more. And then Disney upped their bid by another $5 billion. So Disney's now bidding $70 billion.
Wow.
For 20th Century Fox.
If Disney wants, I can loan them $1. That is all I can give.
So considering the money that Disney's made this year alone through Star Wars and Marvel, and the original Disney movies like Incredibles 2 is out.
Isn't that Pixar?
Incredibles 2 is Pixar, which is a studio by Disney.
Okay, right.
So Pixar is 100% owned by Disney. Disney owns all the good stuff, and they want to own more of the good stuff. So that's my news item. I'm really excited about that. For many reasons, Fantastic Four, although
it would be nice to see a proper reboot that doesn't disappoint fans, because the first one was okay. I still enjoyed seeing the characters on screen. Their costumes were comic accurate. But the second one was, I didn't even watch it. I just saw the trailer and I said, nope, that's...
Yeah, there's been so many false starts in that series that I'm not particularly looking forward to it anytime soon.
And then the MCU already redeemed 2 Human Torches, so maybe they'll redeem the whole team.
Yeah, but what's exciting for me about hopefully obtaining X-Men into the MCU is Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch is already in the MCU, but they're not technically branded as mutants because they weren't allowed to be.
Yes.
So I wonder how that's going to play. If they bring Magneto, are they not going to be as kids anymore since they already have kind of a different storyline? Or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe Avengers 4, reboots everything anyway. So
they could do that. Or possibly...
Avengers 4 can be Marvel's way of... If Disney ends up buying 20th Century Fox, Avengers 4 can be Marvel's way of letting Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. out because I know that they don't want to do the movies anymore.
Unfortunately.
As well as bringing in X-Men into the fold by kind of rebooting some of the things through the storyline.
Now, this might not happen in Infinity War, but if they do decide to do time travel, interdimensional travel, in Age of Ultron, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver's parents died. So maybe they can prevent that and they would show the father as Magneto.
Well, yeah, we never technically see the parents, right? We just know that they're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, maybe Magneto is the father. So much possibilities.
So many possibilities, but
that's what I love about
again, this is all speculation, and who knows how much of this can come true.
We should probably write down like some of these predictions at some point, maybe in a future episode,
we can brand
and then see like how many of our predictions do come true, like how accurate we were, or how wrong we were. So, what's your next news item?
One thing that I found really interesting was, as you know, the new Spider-Man game is coming out September
I can't wait.
7th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know the date. I just know it's September. I know that I'm ready for it.
Yes.
It's compatible with the PS4 Pro, so it'll do the whole 4K upscaling thing. And I have a PS4 Pro, so I am freaking excited. Can't wait.
But I know Marvel Comics is submitting 5 variant covers of 5 comics with that Spider-Man design.
Do you know what's different about the Spider-Man design? I know one thing that I saw. I know this is minor, but there was like the bottom of his foot isn't like just flat. I don't know how to explain it. It kind of looked like a jet or something like that, but I doubt it. I know that's probably more of like Tony Stark's Iron Spider suit. Probably has that built in, and maybe not the one in the game, but something looked like it was under his shoe that I saw. Anything about the costume or the uniform, whatever you want to call it, that you know about?
the original insignia on his chest is ordinarily black, but in the game it is white. He also has a bunch of, I don't want to say white stripes, but he has more, I believe the gloves are white, if I'm not mistaken.
So a lot of what the artwork would traditionally have black is white for this new suit.
For the most part, yes.
Okay. And to be clear, this new game coming out, it's Peter Parker Spider-Man, right? Not like Miles Morales or anything?
I believe it is Peter Parker just because of what the story is. I know we're going to see Wilson Fisk, who aka Kingpin.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's going to be Peter Parker. But they are sending out a variant cover of Amazing Spider-Man Annual Number 1, which pays homage to Spider-Man number 546, if I'm not mistaken, by Stephen McNiven. The next one is Amazing Spider-Man number 5, which pays homage to Amazing Spider-Man number 46. Avengers number 7, which is going to be a variant cover of Dark Reign Mr. Negative number 1 by Jay Lee. Spider-Geddon number 0, which that's my first time hearing that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, that one pays homage to Spider-Man number 671. And then the last one is West Coast Avengers number 2, which pays homage to the Amazing Spider-Man number 151. A lot of these are variant covers of the old Amazing Spider-Man series.
Yeah.
Except for that one Dark Reign one. Spider-Man is still in that cover, so the fact that we're going to see the 2018 version in that cover is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game because while I've never played the Arkham series for Batman, I've seen it. I mean I've played it like in GameStop, but I didn't own it yet. Although I should probably buy it and kind of go through it. But I hear so many people say how great that game is.
You can skip
how great the mechanics are for those games. And so what's really exciting is that many people are saying this new Spider-Man game is very similar to that in terms of game mechanics.
Yeah, I saw that.
What's worked well for the Arkham series, they brought to Spider-Man. So that's going to be pretty cool.
I know right now they strictly say it comes out for PlayStation 4. Do you know if they're going to release an Xbox One?
Probably. I want to say probably not for a few reasons. One, because, Sony. As you know, I'm a PlayStation fan. So yes. I don't really care if it comes out for Xbox. But also, although the rights for Spider-Man's in a weird area now because of like being loaned to the MCU kind of thing, technically Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man and Sony owns PlayStation. It would be in their own best interest to have it be a PlayStation exclusive if they have that ability. So, to be honest, I'm not too sure.
I have to sell my Xbox then.
Sell your Xbox, get PlayStation. We got this. Another news item I have, although it's not really new news, but Ant-Man and the Wasp was coming up. So its release is July 6th, and we pre-ordered our tickets for July 5th, which is Thursday night. I'm so excited. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed. Make sure your boss not listening.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed though, in the sense, I mean, it's not bad, but it kind of sucks that this is gonna take place before Infinity War.
Yes.
I know from what we've heard about Captain Marvel, that's also gonna take place before Infinity War.
But this will be her origin story.
Yeah, that's different. It's her origin story, and it's
first movie.
Way before Infinity War. It's like in the 80s or 90s or something like that.
If I'm not mistaken.
This is somewhat recent, just before Infinity War, and so much has happened in Infinity War. I want to know what happens next, and we're just not going to be able to see that. So that kind of sucks. But Paul Rudd's amazing as Ant-Man. He's so funny. Yes. He fits very well into the MCU. So it's going to be an exciting movie regardless, I think.
And who knows, maybe the after credit scene can show his daughter being dusted away, as some of the fans call it. Which will be heartbreaking because the little girl looks adorable. But and it'll give Ant-Man a reason to actually join the fight.
Exactly. All the rumors point to both Ant-Man and the Hawkeye finally being in this second installment of the Avengers movie.
I think that was the key. That's why they lost in the first place. Hawkeye was not in the movie.
Yeah, right when Hawkeye's there, they win. Right. Exactly. That's what I've heard too.
He killed 11 robots, 11 aliens with all his arrows. That's the only reason why they won.
Exactly. Any other news items for you?
I know Hasbro is releasing 2 new waves. This isn't really brand new news because they've been spoken about previously, I believe in the beginning of the month, but they're releasing a Apocalypse wave and a Venom wave. Now those are build-a-figure, so you have to get each figure in the wave to build Apocalypse and Venom. Now we've only seen a build-a-figure Apocalypse with the Toy Biz Hasbro.
Wait, so explain to me, how does build-a-figure work?
So like I said, each figure in the wave has a piece, so an arm, a leg, the head, or the torso.
So it has a piece that's not for that figure?
Yeah, exactly. It has a piece to build the...
That's slick.
Yeah, that's
slick. So they make you buy all of it.
I know some people sell the pieces separately, but those people charge you an arm and a leg for an arm and a leg. Now, we've only seen an Apocalypse Build-A-Figure with Toy Biz, which is expensive nowadays. So I'm eager to see how Hasbro holds up to them. And for the Venom Build-A figure, I'm excited because we're getting a new Carnage figure with more accessories and a Cletus Cassidy head sculpt, which we didn't get the first time around.
Nice.
I know there's the Amazing Yamaguchi figure, which that didn't have a head sculpt, and I feel like only because that figure line is a Japanese figure line, and their head sculpts are more anime-like, so it'd be kind of difficult to make a Cletus Cassidy in anime form. And that Build-A figure, now they brand it as Monster Venom, but it honestly looks like Matt Gargan Venom, which you might know Matt Gargan as Scorpion.
Yeah.
We've seen a Matt Gargan Venom before with the Hasbro Spider-Man Classic series, so I'm excited to compare those two side by side. I don't think the new one comes with the Stinger, but who knows? Maybe we could add the one from Spider-Man Classics to this one and see how that works.
We'll see. And for those people listening, so for anybody who doesn't know, not only is this podcast available on our website and on YouTube, we also do figure reviews, and those will be available on our website in the blog section. Blog section figure reviews, I'm not even sure yet, as well as YouTube as well. So we actually have a Carnage figure in the works, and we'll be purchasing and reviewing some more things in the future. So maybe some of these things, we'll have to shell out the money and review them, see how they are.
One thing I'm also excited about, they have another Spider-Man wave, which isn't too great, but I only want to get Spider-Ham. I don't know if you've ever seen those comics.
No.
It's a multiverse. It's a different universe where Spider-Man is a pig, and the figure itself doesn't have too much articulation, but it's still pretty cool to have.
that's
I don't know if you ever played Shadow Dimensions. They briefly show Spider-Ham in there.
No, that's strange. I feel like at least from what I've seen, out of most of the Marvel characters, I feel like Spider-Man is the one that has like the most variations, or like different dimension versions of Spider-Man, or just whatever.
He definitely does. And they're also coming with a new movie, Into the Spider-Verse. So
just about that. Yeah, and I wonder what lend it's just because Spider-Man's been so popular. Is that why, or what about Spider-Man? Out of all the characters, made it so that he had the most variations. I don't know. Strange. So I only have one news item left for myself. Yeah. Basically, it was announced that Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which still isn't coming out anytime soon. I think it's 2019 or 2020. I think it's 2020 that's coming out.
That's so long.
They did say that in terms of like the plot and where it takes place, it's going to be taking place after the events of Infinity War. Ant-Man's going to take place before. Captain Marvel's going to take place before. We will have Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is going to end that trilogy, which also I don't even know what that means. Does that mean we're going to get a different set of characters afterward, or they're just not going to do it? Who knows? But that movie will take place afterward, so we'll get to see Star-Lord and see what's
Marvel's greatest villain.
Yeah, and see how he deals with what happened. Well, I guess we'll see that in Avengers 4 as well. But
also, I know at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, one of the after credits scenes was showing all the Ravagers in their ships, and those were actually the original Guardians of the Galaxy. So maybe we'll see those in
Volume that makes
4,
sense.
Or if they plan to do all that.
Yeah.
If after the Star-Lord, Gamora, and all that are done, then maybe we'll see the original team in the future.
Yeah. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, what's that last news item there?
Right. Marvel Comics is also releasing something called Asgardians of the Galaxy, and it is basically a team of Asgardians who are defending the galaxy while the Guardians are away due to the events in Infinity Wars. Not the movie, the comics. I haven't read the comics too much, but I thought it was pretty funny that Scourge is in it, and as you remember, Scourge was in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And he dies. A heroic death, but
he redeemed himself, which I'm very happy about, because you can tell he was kind of doing bad things, but you can tell he was conflicted.
He was hesitant with most of the things.
Yeah, and
I think Karl Urban played that character pretty well.
If Hela gave me that axe or whatever he was building, I probably would have done some bad things too.
Yes.
I'd do some bad things for Hela. Cool. So that's our news for this week. So I wanted to get into our main topic. Our main topic for this episode is going to be about Luke Cage season 2, and also I wanted to talk about a little bit about the what they call the Street Brawlers, which is the Netflix TV series in general, which I'm big fans of. So as we mentioned earlier, today as we're recording, Luke Cage season 2 it was released. We have not watched it yet, so we can't speak too much into what's in the episodes.
Basically, just our predictions or what we feel might happen.
I know you said you haven't watched season 1 yet, right?
I have not.
So you should. You should. I'm a big fan of, like I said, all of them, but particularly of Luke Cage. As someone who's from New York, I'm just excited about all these series because we get to see them take place in New York. Jessica Jones, Daredevil. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even watch Iron Fist.
Yeah, no one does.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I did watch The Defender, so I got to see him there.
Yeah.
But just Iron Fist didn't look appetizing to me, so I didn't bother watching it. But I like seeing how all these things take place in New York. I like how, aside from Daredevil, they don't have suits like traditional superhero suits, and they have powers. But many times you can't necessarily know by looking at them.
Yeah, exactly.
And compared to like Captain America and Iron Man,
is a super soldier.
Yeah, like they have, like, mind you, the people know who Jessica Jones is now on the street.
Yeah.
And same thing with Luke Cage, but they're very much more down to earth. You know, they're more down to earth and they seem like regular people. And what I loved about Luke Cage, the way they filmed it, the music that was in it. Right? Yeah. It's in Harlem, which, you know, Harlem's traditionally known for the arts and for music. Yeah. And you definitely see that in Luke Cage. Pretty much every episode, one of the places that it takes place is in Cottonmouth's club that he has. Mm-hmm. And in his club, they have live music. Oh, but in Luke Cage,
I heard the soundtrack was phenomenal.
Yeah, and Luke Cage, like in that club, they have real artists, like real recording artists, like Bobby Brown, perform during the show. They're performing, so you get to hear that music and see them perform while the show's happening.
So basically, a free concert.
Exactly, and it's just
Netflix charges you.
Yeah, but what, $9 a month is not a lot. But it's just, I don't know, it's very different, very unique. I love the atmosphere of the show, and what's also, you know, like for Black people, for example, I think Luke Cage sets a really good example. Like, I think I'm trying to remember what episode it was, but there's one episode where this young kid with a gun puts the gun to the back of Luke Cage's head and calls him the N-word, for example. And Luke Cage gets so upset, and he's not upset because of the gun, because, you know, he's bulletproof, so he doesn't really care anyway. He got upset by that kid calling him that word, and he kind of preaches to him about, like, do you even understand what that word means and what it means to our people? And Luke Cage is, yeah, he's a superhero, but he's also defending his people, you know, his people.
Exactly.
And I think that's pretty cool. So he's trying to stand for something more and be the good guy in a traditional, like, a hero sense, but aside from just his powers, he's being a hero in the sense of the heroes we have nowadays, you know, like a politician who's trying to stand up for a community or whatever. So he's being a hero in the way me, you, and other people can try to be a hero without necessarily needing to have superpowers.
Actually, in the trailer for Luke Cage Season 2, they show him on the streets taking pictures with a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
You see a bunch of, like, teenagers running away.
Yeah.
So he's definitely, like, a community hero where he cares about where he lives, the people that live around him, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know you had some thoughts about the villain.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, the villain is Bushmaster. And this TV series adaptation is very different from the comic book issues. There's two different variations. The first one, basically the guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he tracks down Noah Bernstein, the doctor who performed on Luke Cage, and forces him to recreate the same process to acquire superpowers. Another adaptation is he is a snake.
Like, literally?
Yes, he has a snake tail, and he has spears coming out of his hands, which I doubt they'll show in the in the TV series, but from the trailer it looks like he gets his powers from meditating. They show him around a bunch of candles, so who knows, maybe he acquired some of the dragon bones from Defenders and recreated the serum himself.
Okay. So when I watched Jessica Jones Season 2, I never bothered to research this. I can't remember if it takes place, I think it does take place after the Defenders and, like, all the events that happen in Defenders, but they don't really talk about it, which I found strange. I feel like when I was watching Jessica Jones Season 2, all the events of the Defenders wasn't really, like, talked about much or mentioned much.
I think it was beforehand. I think it was Daredevil Season 1, Jessica Jones, Season 2 of Daredevil, Luke Cage, Season 2 of Jessica, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Defenders is after Season 2 of Jessica Jones.
Okay, so I wonder where Luke Cage Season 2 is going to take place then. If it's going to be before or after the Defenders. Because I kind of want something to address what happened there. Like, a lot happened. Maybe not many people know, but New York was almost wiped away. Like, New York was almost gone. And this time, not by the Hulk, but, you know, something internally. So some big stuff went down, and I have no clue
I'm curious
if they're going to address it.
What Jessica Jones and Luke Cage's relationship will be like now that he knows that his wife never really loved him or was forced to love him.
We'll see. So I know, like I said, I watched Season 2 of Jessica Jones, and they also didn't address Luke Cage in that at all. Even though Luke Cage had a decent part in Season 1. And whether it's before or after the Defenders, it's after everything that happened in Season 1. So, I don't know, we should probably put together, on our website, I guess, we're going to be adding the movies and, like, the timeline on our website for comicsandcoffee.com. So you can probably put together the TV shows as well. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
So we can kind of show all the TV shows and how they connect.
Technically, they're in the MCU.
They're definitely in the MCU. Yeah. They referred. It's funny. They refer to the events. They always talk about, like, when the aliens came as, I think, the event, right?
Yeah.
They call it the event or the incident. That's what they call it. They call it the incident. I'm really excited about that and can't wait to watch that. We'll probably talk more about that next episode. You know what I find interesting too? So I'm always interested in, like, the business side of things. And I remember, I think it was earlier this year, the end of last year. I can't remember, but Disney. It was announced that Disney is now going to be doing their own streaming service. So basically their own competitor to Netflix or Hulu.
Oh.
And what a lot of companies
Disney
have tried
really
this.
taken over.
Yeah, and a lot of companies tried this. CBS has CBS All Access. So CBS has something. All these different like channels / movie studios have something. But what's dangerous about Disney is all the properties they have.
Yes.
Original Disney and Pixar have a huge library of movies and shows already. Because remember, Disney owns Radio Disney, Disney owns Disney Channel, Playhouse Disney.
Disney XD.
Yeah, they own all those things. And then Disney bought Marvel. So Disney owns technically everything that Marvel owns. Mm-hmm. And then Disney bought Lucasfilm. So Disney owns everything Star Wars.
Yes.
So they have a huge, huge library. So them creating their own streaming service is something that's actually could potentially be dangerous to Netflix. So what I thought was interesting was it was said that Netflix is going to start losing, I forget what the cutoff date was, but they're going to start losing a lot of Disney movies because Disney's going to pull it because they want people to use their service.
Now, do you think that's going to be the same $10 a month, or would they charge us more?
Honestly, I have no clue.
They might.
I want to say I would say that they would try to be competitive. So I think they would probably be around $9-10 a month.
Okay.
So here's what I found interesting though. So Netflix has some Marvel shows such as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Yes.
However, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is made by ABC, which is owned by Disney. Mm-hmm. So I would assume that along with like the Disney movies, that's probably going to be pulled at some point down the line when Disney launches their service.
So ABC shows as well then?
Yeah.
Or just Marvel-related ones?
No. I'm assuming Disney would pull all their stuff. Oh. But here's where it gets interesting. So ABC does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Netflix is the actual producing company for the Street Brawlers. So for Daredevil, that's Luke Cage, yes. Jessica Jones, Punisher, Netflix actually produces those shows themselves. So what the hell happens there? Because Disney owns some of the rights to them, but Netflix owns the TV publishing rights now for those because Netflix is making them. I kind of wanted to know if those are going to be the exception or if those are going to be pulled as well. And I think we're getting an idea of maybe they're not going to be pulled because Jessica Jones season 2 came out, so Netflix is still investing in this. Yeah. Luke Cage, as of today, Luke Cage season 2 is now out. And we hear that Daredevil season 3 is in the works. Punisher season 2 is in the works. So it looks like Netflix is not worried and they're still producing these things. So maybe
there's a collaboration between the two.
Yeah, maybe these won't get pulled. And I hope they don't because they're being produced amazingly. So I really hope that we don't lose them. Anything else you want to cover for Luke Cage season 2 or the Street Brawler series?
I know even though no one really liked Iron Fist, I know he is not rumored but confirmed to be in Luke Cage season 2. And hopefully, hopefully it'll be to train Luke Cage how to fight more. And maybe that's how he'll end up defeating Bushmaster.
Did you see Defenders?
Yes.
Well, I'm not a big Iron Fist fan. I love that scene where they get into that first, like they first meet each other and they get into that fight. And nothing that Iron Fist is doing really matters. And he just has this look in his face like, what the hell's happening here?
He's screwed.
But of course, when he gets the, what is it called? Is it Chi that he gets, Iron Fist?
The Yellow Fist.
Yeah, I forgot. I think they call it Chi. But when the fist starts to glow and he punches Luke Cage in the mouth and you do that slow-mo, that's beautiful. So yeah, they can have some interesting things together. And I'm really looking forward to watching this. I think this weekend I'll probably get started on it.
Yeah.
And speaking
of Defenders, Misty Knight loses her arm in Defenders. And we saw in the trailer that she gets her bionic arm, which we've seen in the comics. And in the comics, Tony Stark actually created the first one, which I doubt they're going to go with that route because in the trailer we also see an R on the blueprints of the arm. So it's obviously for Rand Enterprises. Oh,
so the other billionaire, multi-billionaire, is the one who creates it. But you never know because what you see in some of these Street Brawler series, including which one is it? In Luke Cage. And Luke Cage near the end of season 1 when he's fighting Diamondback, this crazy weapon that Diamondback has was, I don't know if it was stolen or purchased, but it's Hammer Tech.
Oh, right.
It's Hammer Tech, which we've already seen in Iron Man 2. It's definitely, in the Iron Man world there, so.
Which also begs the question, in the trailer, a police says to Luke Cage, you can't keep doing what you do. Do you think it has anything to do with the Sokovia Accords? Because he's technically a hero that everyone knows about, so I feel like the government would
I don't think so. I feel like the MCU is kind of pushed past with everything that's happened already. I feel like I think they're just saying that because, the whole thing with Batman, he's a vigilante, police don't like vigilantes.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's kind of that, or not that we've seen it too much in Luke Cage, but the whole storyline of, I guess it's related to the Sokovia Accords, but the whole storyline from Ultron where a powerful villain rises up to kind of combat that. Mm-hmm. So, maybe the police kind of just saying like, you're inviting, they might be blaming him in the sense that you're inviting more crime.
I believe that was in Civil War. Vision's equation, or what did he call it?
Well, it's the end of Age of Ultron, because that's where we get introduced to Vision.
Yeah.
I think it really just has to kind of do with that. I really hope for Daredevil season 3 though. Wilson Fisk. I want to see more.
Yes.
More of him. That character was played so great, and we haven't seen him since. Yeah, and hopefully there's some more crossovers. I don't know if Punisher and Daredevil will cross over again.
I know at the end of Defenders, they showed Daredevil was found by a bunch of nuns, and he was technically alive. Do you think he was brought back with that ritual with the blood and everything, or
I'm not sure.
He was blown up, or a building collapsed on him? I don't see how nuns can fix him.
Let's not go there. I'm not sure. I think didn't someone recently get like revived or get power from the alien blood from the incident? So maybe it could be related to that as well.
I believe Agent Coulson and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, there we go. Agent Coulson. With the way comics work, right? There's plenty of ways he can come back.
So the nuns basically stole alien tech or alien blood.
I wouldn't put it past them. What are they hiding under there? All right, so I just wanted to go over some other like leftover topics that I wanted to discuss. So one of them was Infinity War, right? It was Infinity War, yeah, at the beginning of Infinity War, right? Mm-hmm. Once again, spoiler, but Thanos' whole MO is that he slaughters half of a population or community or whatever.
Exactly.
And Thor says that he slaughtered half my people. What do you think that means? Well,
just the fact that the whole ship blew up before Thor says he slaughtered half his people, he escaped with a bunch of Asgardians, hopefully the children, women and children, kind of tells me that maybe Valkyrie, most importantly, hopefully Korg was the survivors.
Yeah. So you think that
because she is confirmed for Infinity War Part 2.
So you think somewhere half those Guardians are still alive?
Yes. Maybe half of half, because he technically wiped out half. So who knows? But I know Tessa Thompson has been confirmed for Avengers 4.
That's tough. Yeah, unless I missed something, I can't think of anywhere in the movie where we could have gotten like some sort of hint or something like that of where they might be. Or although I guess what ship, because it's the post-credit scenes of Ragnarok where you see Thanos' ship meet. No, but he blew up their ship, right? And I guess he took his ship. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where they would be.
After Loki put
what about the little...
Exactly. That's how he got back to the ship.
The Grandmaster's
orgy
ship.
Yeah,
the orgy ship. You're right. We didn't see anything about that necessarily. I mean, it could have gotten blown up also since it was attached, but there's no reason to say why it didn't
that's not
separate.
Where they escaped from.
Yeah, separate, and that's where half of them are. Although that's a really small ship, so maybe you're right about half of half.
As long as Korg is on that ship, we're fine.
Yeah, so that's a possibility. And there's all those rumors about how Loki isn't dead, that he was Bruce Banner, and that's why. But I think
very unlikely.
I think it's all BS because you see Banner trying to get the Hulk out, and the Hulk is struggling to not come out.
Now, mind you, he was always alone when that happened, but I still feel like Loki, they wouldn't show that.
Yeah, Loki wouldn't be doing that. If Loki was faking, like, why would he
fake when no one's watching?
Yeah, why would he fake that? Like that to me, that rumor doesn't make any sense at all. We're not going to do a whole episode about this, but we did see Deadpool 2. Any thoughts on that?
One thing that I loved was, well, spoilers, towards the end. What was the little kid's name? Russell,
yeah.
I don't remember
Russell.
what his hero and his alter ego name was. But he basically shoots his fire at Deadpool, and then a bunch of ashes falls on the costume, making it gray and black, which is the known and beloved X-Force costume. So I thought it was a fun little Easter egg that I actually enjoyed way too much.
The real X-Force?
Yes.
not the X-Force that dies like 10 seconds into their first mission.
Poor Sugar Bear.
That movie was so funny. I'm not gonna lie, the ending kind of surprised me. I didn't think that Cable, right?
Cable.
I didn't think he was gonna, like, when he used his little time machine thing. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he was gonna go back to save Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. I mean, I don't think it was necessary, but by doing that, we then get to see him fix the time machine later and go back and kill the weapon. Was it
Weapon
11? Because isn't Wolverine Weapon X? Wolverine's Weapon X. So Weapon 11, he goes back and kills him, and that was needed. So
yeah, and killing Ryan Reynolds for accepting Green Lantern,
which was also needed.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if I told you the story. I saw Green Lantern. It came out right at the end of boot camp. So when I graduated Navy boot camp, we went on Liberty. So we were in our dress whites, and we got to go hang out with family or do whatever for like 8 hours before we had to go back to base and go to our first base for training. So my friend and I were trying to figure out where to go, so we decided to take the railroad into Chicago.
Okay.
So we go to Chicago, we arrive there in our uniform, we're all excited, we finally at a boot camp, we have all this freedom. And I was like, you know what, we got some coffee, of course, Starbucks. And then I was like, you know what, let's go to see a movie. So we go to see a movie, remember, we were in boot camp for months, so we weren't even aware of what was in theaters.
Oh, wow.
So we were just kind of quickly scanning to see what starts soon, so we could just see something, and it was Green Lantern. And I was so disappointed. I walked out of the theater like, I've been locked away for 3 months in boot camp, and this is the movie I was able to see. I was so upset. What a shame.
You punished yourself. I'm so sorry.
It happens. So, anything else you want to talk about before we go? Okay, so I'll take that as a no.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. So we're gonna get ready to head out. I think next episode we would be talking about our Ant-Man and the Wasp predictions, right?
Yes.
As we get closer, like I said, we already have our tickets, so we'll talk about our predictions for that, and then I guess
we can talk about Luke Cage.
Yeah, we I don't know if we'll finish the whole series, the whole season by then, but yeah, we can.
No lives.
We can probably get into that as well, and kind of give our thoughts on Luke Cage season 2. Maybe we do half and half. Like we'll watch the first half of the season by next episode and discuss it, and then the episode after that we'll talk about the second half. Kind of split up a little bit there. All right, everybody. We'll have show notes on our website. If you want to know about like the series we're talking about, the figures that Moses was talking about earlier, we'll have that in our show notes on comicsandcoffee.com/podcast. Any questions or feedback for us, you can contact us on Twitter at comics_coffee. It sucks, but someone has the better handle, unfortunately. And at Facebook, facebook.com/comicsandcoffee. And then, of course, our website, comicsandcoffee.com. All right. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you guys next week. Well, not see you.
Piss off, ghost!